Okay, let's try that again. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. We just tried to start a live, and for some other strange reason, it just did not want to go through. End of our year today, in the form of Vivianne Chauvet, who is an Arcturian hybrid, and is going to be talking to us today about this winter solstice and the galactic portal, the work that she does. And funny enough, a lot of my clients have been asking about what this all means.
Hi, Stefan. Can you see me now?
Yes, I can indeed. How are you?
Yay. I am super excited to be here. I am well on this very powerful winter solstice on December 21st,
Yeah.
2020. Yes. Thank you for having
Oh,
me.
no, thank you. I tell you, it's been so interesting today because every single one of my clients has been saying, and even some of my friends, we've been hearing that the solstice is going to be so incredible, and what does it all mean, and what are we expecting, and what's going to come
Yes.
up next? So very excited to talk about all of that. But before we do, as always, I'd love it if you could tell us a little bit about you, about the person behind the brand, and what got you to this point in your life.
Absolutely, Stefan. So my name is Vivianne Chauvet. I'm originally from Montreal, Canada. And growing up, I've always felt that I had certain natural ability or ignite gifts inside of me
Mhm.
that was just growing and blossoming. For one thing, I was able to read people's energy, and I can also detect in the energy field where something was out of balance or disharmonized, whether it was emotionally, physically, whether there was an attachment, there was something, an influence about them. And of course, being a nocturnal hybrid, what that means is that I am also in constant form of communication with my nocturnal father, with our collective. So I'm very used to live in a collective sense, if you would. I'm used to feel always this numerous presence around me were very palpable. And over time, these experiences have increased tremendously to the point where I can go back on board our ships, interact with my star family, and even incorporate new connections such like the Syrians, the Andromedans. I work a lot with the Lyrans and other consciousness. Um, and then as my gift developed, I felt a really deep calling to utilize those gifts to help people to ascend to what we call creating and living life by soul design. And this is why I started my practice a number of years ago. And I said, I'm here to be of service. And that term being of service is also expanding through, teachings, guidance, mentorship, healing, which is a big umbrella, and so forth. So, and of course, here we are today on this amazing day of the solstice, and I know we'll talk about it. But being of service and helping people to really reach a level of fulfillment, enlightenment, to see their life being transformed as a result. And the transformation comes from inside out, first and foremost, because think of it as your life is a reflection of your expansion and not the other way around. So the more you
Mhm.
blossom and become who you are at the soul level, and you're allowing the unfoldment of your divine blueprint, the more your life reflects this opportunity, this potential in the beingness. If that makes sense.
Right. It does indeed. Now, I don't normally do this, Vivian, but one of my clients actually has just joined the live. And
Oh,
just before I came on with you, she was asking me specifically about this galactic portal that's opening today, about the conjunction. Is there anything that we can do to prepare ourselves, to get us ready, etc.? So I actually made a
yes.
note of some of her questions so that I could ask you as well. Um, and then aside from that, something else I don't normally say on these interviews is I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you after this because I would like a session with you simply because somebody in passing a couple of months ago said to me, and it was a woman I met once and we've never spoken for reasons. So I'm a believer that it was something that was meant to happen. And she said, I get the sense that you possibly have Syrian heritage.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I've never even heard of that, and then looked it up online, and the first thing that pops up is all these Syrian glyphs. And the weirdest thing is, it's the shapes that I started drawing as a child. So that's something that I definitely want to discuss with you at some point, but I won't obviously do that now because it's your job and whatnot, and I want to have a proper session with you. But something that I just wanted to bring up, I suppose more for personal curiosity, and we can maybe discuss that further down the line. But yeah, it's so interesting to see how this year has worked its way through the collective of humanity, working out a lot of the kinks that had built up over the last 1,000, 2,000 years, 3,000 years. I almost felt like this year was an intense stretching and massage session that was really painful because everybody had to sit still and endure the pain. And now it's worked out all those little knots that have accumulated over the centuries. And now we're kind of hoping to start to make movement. So on that note, with today being the big day on everybody's lips, you know, the conjunction, the galactic portal, the energies that are coming through, I call it the great respite that has been offered to us before 2021 kicks off with a bang and is probably going to be quite an intense year as well, in a different way.
Yes.
What is your take on this, and what do you believe we can learn from today moving forward?
Yeah, that's a great question, Stefan. So if you look at the conjunction of the planet in Saturn and Jupiter are passing into each other, meeting up with their orbits in such close proximity, this is something that hasn't happened since 1623, almost 400 years ago, right? So as a result, if you look at what just the general meaning of those planets, Saturn is about self-mastery, self-discipline, overcoming challenges, dismantling really restrictive structures and learning from them, extracting the karmic lesson, the growth. And it's a planet of self-mastery. And it can be also bring out opportunity to look at shadow part of ourselves, or what we call unresolved soul patterns. Now, Jupiter coming through, it's a planet of expansion, luck, the sense of expanding beyond restrictions, being able to be victorious beyond the challenges. So if you look at 2020, amazing golden opportunities were given to so many of us to really go deep into our beingness and our core soul, and to look at what is it at this point of time where I look at so much global changes, where the old structures as we have known them for generations are no longer can no longer support us in the enlightenment and the era of the Aquarius energy in the golden age. So we've been given opportunity to look at ourselves and to says, what is it that have been hiding in the depth of my soul, the unconscious, the subconscious work, the core patterns, the core programs, which reflect on the planet, core programs coming onto the surface as well. So what can we do on this very powerful day? I want to point out Uluru, the county of Uluru in Australia, where Aboriginal tribes have been preparing for this solstice for at least many years now, for generations, but especially the last 9 years, because there's a legend, a prophecy that says there's a Pleiadians device, crystals that have been brought onto the earth from our sisters and brothers, the Pleiadians, come to the earth millions of years ago, implemented those crystals. And the only way to activate this very powerful intergalactic portal is through positive energy that comes from human beings. So what can you do on this day is to more than ever be centered into your and let the portal, what we call the temple of your soul, opening, and let that energy just transmit. Transmit to Uluru, transmit to everywhere on the planet, whether it's in your life, for your family, your friends, your neighbors, the city, the town, the village, the country you live in, everywhere. So feel it like almost like crystal energy emanating from your heart center in the purest form, because this is your essence, right? So allowing this energy to come out and to say, on this day, I choose to be a strong column of light and force of light. And you can feel the intergalactic portal opening. And what it does, it supports the earth to create a balance, an alignment for a higher vibrational state, higher frequency, where she's going to rotate, so to speak, and create a positive axis of alignment that will support us moving forward. And especially for 2021, which is going to be a year of where things are going to start to shift majorly and even transcending into 2022. So the next 2 years are very paramount on the planet. So we collectively and individually, we have the power to really feed that positive energy from our divine essence combined with our human experience, and as human beings, transcending the negativity and also stepping into the new role as new galactic human beings, guardians, stewardship of the earth, and living in a more harmonized way, balanced way with nature as well as all sentient life forms on the planet. So there's amazing opportunity right now. And today it's the core of it, but it's also the invitation moving forward, if that makes sense.
It does, in fact. And I can tell you now, from my personal perspective, this invitation hasn't come a moment too soon, because something that has been very heavy on my mind, and I think to a certain extent a lot of the minds of my clients as well and my friends around me, you know, you sometimes tend to feel like you are one light in a sea of darkness. And then when I started doing these interviews with people, I started to see, well, no, we're not, you know, this one little light. There are a lot of us out there. And then in my meditations and so forth over the last couple of weeks, I've sort of been crying out and saying, is this enough? You know, is humanity able to even move forward, or is it just doomed to failure? And lo and behold, one person after another has come up and said, you do realize that you're not alone. There are thousands upon millions of us out there who are doing their level best to shine light out into the world day in and day out. And like you say, now with this invitation, for more people who maybe have been struggling with it, who know that they want to do more, but they don't quite know what that more is. Now is the time to kind of go, right, we're joining our voices in that chorus, and sorry to mix metaphors, but to shine that light out into the world.
Yes,
when
absolutely.
Yeah, please continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mentioned something very important when you mentioned, I am one light in the sea of darkness. But here's the analogy for everyone. When you have an intense dream, okay, it felt like very intense, you've been chased after bad guys or things going on, what do? The moment you turn on one light, your room or where you are lift up, everything illuminates around you, and suddenly what seems so heavy, so fearful, and so, you know, very intense dissipate by the turning of one light. And you take your breath, you ground yourself, and you say, okay, I am safe. That was a dream. I let it go. I release it. And now what you do, you rebalance yourself, you go back to sleep, and then you move forward. So that analogy is very powerful. And that's exactly what's called the reversal of thought process, the reversal of thought system, where we were taught to believe that one make no difference, that your light or your essence of who you are by yourself is not enough, which is completely an illusion, is the opposite. One light worker has the power to uplift thousands by the power of who you are, which is exactly precisely so important now, who you are more than ever. Past the persona, the personality, the stories, the program, where you were born, what happened in childhood, or even through the transcending of past lives, is through the midst of all of this, when you connect all of your soul fragments together and you start to recognize the power that you carry within you through your divinity and your light, now things start to change. And we have the capability now to create a momentum, a great junction of light on the planet that will sustain all of us and the planet herself moving forward, especially in 2021 and even all the way to 2022 and beyond.
So that actually was going to be my next question. Over the next 2 years, because I was speaking to a friend of mine today actually about the conjunction, and we've been studying the signs and looking at the stars and whatnot, and what all this is going to look like for the next couple of years. And one of the things that came out was, yes, we are moving into the age of Aquarius, but there is certainly going to be a time of, I suppose, call it resistance, because as humans, we don't like change. So there tends to always be a small little bit of pushback to any new changes, and there'll be a time of adjustment whilst that energy really settles in and people are able to accept it. What can we do on the individual level that energy set faster? Because of course, like you say, one light worker has the ability to illuminate thousands. So if one person is able to settle that energy a little bit faster in their systems, my assumption is that ripple effect will go out to their immediate social circle and hopefully help them to settle into the new way of doing things a lot faster too. Do you have any suggestions around that for people?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I know that change sometimes can feel a bit unsettling, but the pulse of the universe and allowing this gentle movement, this gentle pulse, just brushing through your body through frequencies and light, you will feel that the pulse of change can be very also gentle and implementing in ways that come in stages. So moving forward, what you also can do is take the time to every day create a sacred space where you enter into a meditative journey with yourself. It doesn't have to be a very long, in-depth, complicated meditation. It's just to simply realign when you have your eyes closed and you take this time where time itself stands still around you. And with your eyes closed, you redirect your focal point to breathing through the temple of your heart center. And when you breathe, ask your heart, what can I do to support you today? What can I do to support you? And what does it mean? You're telling your inner being, your essence, your core light, what can I do to support who I am in the journey? Show me opportunity to grow. What do I need to let go of? What is coming the way? How can I be of service? This is something I do. I will, sit in my office prior to a sessions or before I do an interview or even a group class online. And I ask my inner being through my heart center, okay, I am ready to be of service. Show me the next steps. And that means that I am grounded in the now without being too far back in the past or to move forward in the future. Because after time people come to me and they have a list, and if down insights and extract the core essence of all other questions, it goes down to help me understand who I am. I have these connections, these experiences, this background. I have these abilities. I talk to star beings. Help me understand who I am. This is what it comes down to. So allowing yourself the joy of self-discovery. And this is a lot easier and accessible to all of us now, because the answers, your inner being, the divine spark in you, understand and has the knowledge. And this is something we're going to grow into more and more as we continue to expand. Our DNA is expanding. We are returning to our nature of multidimensional and holographic beings of light. When we work with you, we see your avatar of light. We can see your hologram and how you are evolving, how you are also an integral part of the sacred holographic matrix, and so forth. And so asking the question, how can I support you, my heart, the center of my self-master? And I'm ready to be of service. Show me the next step. When you say, show me the next step, the universe says, okay, you're ready. There's a conjunction of communication. I'll show you. It can come to you through dream states, prophecy, visions, insights, breakthroughs that comes to you. It will come in the form of a link or the most in resonance with you that you will recognize. Because I know some people are they believe they're really very mental, but also at the same time, the mental mind, it's an opportunity to bridge it with your heart. And I always ask people when they come to me for questions, what aspects of you is speaking to me right now? Is it through the lower mind? Is it through a certain anxiety? Or is it part of your higher self that's speaking? So to identify what aspect of you has certain desire or certain question, help you to recognize that there might be opportunity to release those aspects, or they come forth for to be heard, recognized, and resolved. So there's beautiful ways to address this, and you will see collectively we are more ready than people give themselves credit for. Look at just this year, for example, in 2020. We have learned to redefine our connections, how we communicate, whether it's to family members, to online, to Zoom, FaceTime. I mean, you are in South Africa, I am in Arizona, USA, and here we are together as if you were next door. So we have to reinvent ourselves to be able to still be connected, because we're always connected. There's no such thing as being socially disconnected. This is an illusion. This is just program. We're always in a constant state of connections. I can talk to you anytime through my body of light and my essence, and you can do the same with me, or we can do it this way through technology. So redefining also how we feel connected to all there is, to feel that I am my place here on this earth, and especially for the star seeds, those souls who come from other planetary system, galaxy, universe, and they come on this earth as a human incarnation. Oftentimes they feel, oh, this is not my home. I crave to come back home. Yes, it's true from a certain perspective. At the same time, you are precisely where you let the earth shelter you, let the earth nurture you and be a part of your journey. It's going to make things a lot easier to settle in our life missions, what we come to do individually and collectively. And I think we are much more ready than we may feel right now. That's my little happy, uplifting prediction right now. We are ready.
Well, that certainly resonates hugely with me, because there were a couple of, I guess, more selfish questions that I wanted to ask, which you've already answered. Thank you for that. But the other thing that has kind of been weighing on me, because I've since the middle of last year, I started really knuckling down and studying harder and doing my internal practices more diligently, etc., and starting to reawaken gifts that I had forced to be dormant when I was a child for various reasons. And over the last couple of weeks, 2 weeks or so, there's been this clawing fear that I'm moving too quickly, that I'm going to somehow burn myself out, burn out my energy body or something like that. And over the last 2 days, and it's been a case of coming through, not just me, but the universe, not the universe, but the planet as a whole is more ready than it thinks it is. And that fear is very much, I think, a leftover from the previous modality, where we were always taught to play it small. We were always taught not to step outside the box. You know, don't hunger after power, or don't think that you've got more abilities than you actually do, because you don't. And now instead it's a case of, no, actually I get to be who I'm meant to be. Nothing more, nothing less. Oh,
Yes.
that's quite intense.
Yes, it is. You get to be who you are. And always ask yourself, those who come to you and says, play small, know your place. You understand, oh, this is interesting. I'm going to find my place, because you have a voice, you have a place in your own life and on this earth. And always think about, it's filters talking to filters. It's the overlapping of layers of belief systems that after time people unknowingly or unconsciously will utilize to convey a message, whether to their children, family members, to their friends, co-workers, or even sometimes through life events. So you have to always ask yourself, is this in resonance with me? And one of the things I also do, and I will share that with you right now, is whenever I feel that something comes to me, or I heard something that creates a doubt or a questioning, what I'll do is I ground myself into my energy field, and I ask, may the truth be revealed to me from the realm illumined truth. And what that means is that I'm asking, the pulse of the universe, the quantum field, the quantum matrix, to show me the decoding of what this information is truly about, to better understand it without having to go through the three-dimensional filters that oftentimes, people may have when they speak, or where social media or other sources convey, it's filtered. And after time, you can see the decoding of vibrational energy behind it that will create a certain intention. So I always ask that the truth be revealed to me from the realm of illumined truth, and I see the golden light coming into my being, and I let it be. Because eventually, I always get my answer. I will go, okay, now I understand. I just got the true decoding. I understand reading the line of that message, that intention, or was pushed on, and I start to read it behind it, and I start to feel and perceive those are behind this message, for example, or what was conveyed. This also is fantastic to be able to center yourself to see what is in resonance with my truth, a higher form of truth, and you can also filter and take what is it that it's serving and release back to source for transmutation, what is no longer. So what happened is that in the certainty of your light, without feeling always pulled backwards, sideways or backwards, or thrown off balance because of the influence that comes your way, you're able to analyze them, to perceive them as the art of observation and also discernment that comes from the higher mental faculties, balanced with the wisdom and the ancient knowledge of your heart. And this is where you step into your self-master and you're able to decode. I do this all the time, and especially when people send me, look at this link on Facebook, look what I saw on YouTube, or even most importantly in session, so I can decode. I say, okay, this is what I'm hearing from you. This is what I'm hearing from your energy. This is what I'm going to extract. Because this message, it was speak the loudest, not the details. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does indeed. And I think that's so beautiful, but at the same time very disconcerting, because it's almost as if we are going to have to learn an entirely new language that is so outside of what we're used to, but by the same token is ingrained in our DNA. It's going to be a bit of a learning curve, I think, for a lot of people, myself included, because more often than not, I'll get little nudges and I'll just dismiss it and go, no, it can't be that. And then when you sit in meditation later and you ask exactly that, and then it comes through again, like, oh, goodness me. So it was that. That was what the universe was trying to share with me.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. Yes, let's breathe. Trust yourself. Keep it simple. My Outturn team always says, return to the essentials. Keep it simple. The simplicity of your power speaks louder. There's no need to learn another language or anything like this to feel like you have more work to do. It's the other way around. It's to simply, I allow myself into that gentle transition from reversing ancient thought systems that I thought were implemented and potentially were a source of reliable truth or knowledge, and I'm allowing to explore the discovery of new sources that already are available to you now. And I can tell you, it's all about practice. It's all about practice. When I step on this journey over, oh gosh, right now, over 24 years ago, at least, that makes me even more younger now. 24 years ago, when I started in a much more conscious way, I made myself a promise that I would continue to dedicate, my journey to that ever expansion. And I did with consistency, regardless of what challenges came my way. I was able to move through them in different ways. And of course, the challenge that comes your way, whether it's to be feeling mentally challenged or to feel that as an old structure is dismantling, allowing the new one to take form like the phoenix rising from its ashes, renewed, stronger, right? Even more powerful. And that's exactly a gentle transition we're moving into. It can be with more ease. I always tell my team and my galactic being that I work with, okay, time for integration, I need a few days. Allow me to integrate, and then when I'm ready, I'll let you know. And they know exactly the moment I emerge from my integration, they're back on and we're in for more. And I'd like to share something very positive with you, if I may. Last night, something was telling me, go outside and look at the sky. So I went outside. As I turned the corner on the street where I live, and I saw a shooting star, a beautiful shooting star in the sky. At that moment, I felt the energy, the celestial energy of that star. And I opened my heart, and at that moment, I did a prayer for the entire earth, for everyone, every life form, everyone on the planet, everything. I spoke to the star about the earth, and the answer I received, as loud as I am speaking with you right now, is the victory of the light is assured. These are the words I received through a thought form very quickly into my mind. The victory of the light is assured. That was my response to my prayer when I saw the shooting star yesterday on December 20th, right at the junction of this winter solstice. And I want to share that with you.
Thank you so much. That honestly, it's something that I've known, but hearing it stated so succinctly really does help. Just to know that the victory of the light is assured. I'm sure that means there's going to be times in the very near future where it feels like the exact opposite, because that's just how the dark tends to work. But it's good to know that out of all of that, humanity will survive, and there will be this new age of light again, which I think is just so beautiful. It already is. It already is.
Yes, it is. And the good news is we're beyond surviving. We are now in a blossoming state where we are truly transforming and also reclaiming our sovereignty as divine being and new galactic human being as well. And so the message I got yesterday that the victory of the light is assured, that's because it's also telling us, all of us, generations of light workers, and all the work, everything with the consistency and the desire of our hearts, it's really making a huge difference. We have reached already this momentum of light on the planet. You can feel it in the air. You can even hear it in the earth. And this is precisely why the soup seems so thick right now. It's the momentum of that purging where everything seems so thick, and we feel that sometimes we almost feel like blinded by the clouds disguising the sun. But the sun is always there. It never goes away. It's always there. The light is always there. And sometimes it's overshadowed by layers. And we also transcending and healing layers of history on the planet. Each country on this world has layers of history that we are also coming to the surface for transformation, healing, and resolution. We're moving into living our life in a more spiritualized way to bring new form of solutions, communications, even words do matter, make a difference. Moving from the word surviving to we are thriving and blossoming, abundance. We are also existing in that very ever expanding, rich universe. And that universe is a part of me, and I'm a part of this universe. It means that everything that I need is within me, and I can also allow this co-manifestation in tangible form in 3D. So think of it this way. Who am I? I'm part of the universe, as above, so below. Well, it's the same thing on this earth. And we are moving into an era where all the fruit of our labors, of our spiritual work, healing, ceremony, incantations, meditations, prayers, everything that we have invested make a difference. It does matter. So today, another invitation more than ever on the solstice is, how do you communicate? What words are you choosing that create waves of frequency and that echo back into your being? And the tone of your voice create a resonance into your body as well as the solar bodies, but also send out those waves of energies that affects others even at a deeper solar levels. Now we are affecting each other. We are uplifting each other. We are in that symbiotic synergy of network as a light, a family of light. We are. And I have absolutely every faith in everyone. And that includes also even those who come from another planet, who are here, who are enlightened and have reached that level of wisdom and enlightenment, and they understand who we are, and they understand what we're capable of. This is why we're getting so much assistance. So focus on the difference that you make. Focus on what you're co-creating. Focus on what your soul is telling you. Remember, ask your heart, how can I support you? How can I be of service? Show me the next steps. I'm ready. And that create that alignment, body, mind, spirit alignment and beyond, allowing more and more of your supreme higher self to show you. And it's going to help to heal, coach, and support our human aspect too in the process. When we feel a bit more vulnerable and we feel more sensitive, just allow this higher part of you to support you, to feel that it's okay to feel sensitive right now. I may need just to back up a little, recharge, replenish, right? That makes sense?
Yep, it does. Hugely,
Beautiful.
actually. I'm
Fantastic.
and how sensitive I've been feeling, and sometimes even angry with my my soul, I suppose. Yeah, my soul, for allowing things to get to a certain point, and then only to realize that, you know what, it's just a stepping stone. Like you said, that's why the suit feels so heavy right now, because it's always darkest before the dawn. So that, I think, is where we're at now. It's those first rays of sunlight are coming through. Things are starting to lift a little bit. I don't think that means that the first part of 2021 is going to be a cakewalk, but it's good to know that the triumph of the light is assured, or rather the victory. So that is good.
Indeed.
Vivianne, I've kept you far longer than I initially said I would, but this has been such an amazing conversation that I don't even want to end it here. But I'm mindful of your time as well and very respectful of that. I would love to know, and again, purely selfish reasons as well, so not just for our listeners here today, but how do people get in touch with you if they would like to book a session, if they want to do some soul work, some DNA upgrades? How do they get in touch?
Yes, thank you so much, Stefan. Everyone is welcome to go to my website, which is infinitehealingfromthestars.com. So Infinite Healing from the Stars. Look at our site. It is an experience. There's so much beautiful energy. We offer amazing way, technique modalities. There's a contact form. Just send me a message. It will be directly sent to me from our webmaster. Very easy. Let's stay connected. I'm on Instagram at Vivianne Chauvet. I'm also on Facebook, Vivianne Chauvet, Galactic Healer. We have I have my podcast also, bi-weekly, called the Infinite Star Connections. We just finished season 1 yesterday. We're going to resume for season 2 in January. I have my upcoming radio show called Connecting and Living the Arcturian Way on the Transformation Talk Radio. That will be announced as well, but the website is the point to go. It's our connecting point together.
I will definitely be putting that in the comment box under this video as well, for anybody watching or catching the replay. Same for YouTube, goes up there as well.
Thank you.
And of course, those who aren't aware, Vivianne did a beautiful live discussion with the Wellness Lifestyle Conference team. And for those who aren't aware or who are catching us for the first time today, the link to the Wellness Lifestyle Conference is in my bio, and you'll be able to get access to Vivianne's beautiful messages on there as well. Vivianne, we thank you for your time today, and also just for your time over the last couple of weeks. We really do appreciate it. I will be in touch very shortly.
Anytime.
Because I want to have a more personal chat with you very soon. And we will take it from there. Vivianne, thank you so much for your time today. Beautiful. And looking forward to our next conversation.
Infinite blessings. Thank you so much. Much love.
Much love to you as well. Bye-bye.